What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to dive into pandemic EBT. Want to talk about SNAP benefits, what certain states are doing, how some states are actually giving rebates and credits, but the goal is to hopefully provide some type of security for the elderly and lower income as far as food and security. So that's what's happening right now. Want to go over this. There's a lot of states that are sending out just different benefits at this time. One state sending out $168 boost to certain checks. Other states are doing rebates of $500, even $1,000 or more. So I want to break down what's going on. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But let's first get to the state participation for summer 2023. These are the states that are sending out the additional $120 per child. This is children between the ages of 6 to 17 that currently are not in school. So here's a list of the states. We have Alabama, American Samoa, Arizona, Arkansas, California, CNMI, Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, District of Columbia, Florida. Sorry, this is a little bit off of my screen, but you'll see why in just a second. Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania. We also got Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Those are all the states that have currently been approved for summer pandemic EBT for school year 2023 or summer 2023. All right. Now, I want to be very clear on something. Just because your state is not in this list yet, okay? If your state is not on this list yet, don't worry about it. There's still time. You can be added, all right? And you can get the payment later on. Now, let's talk about one of the states that is sending out some additional relief, and that is New Mexico. Right now, New Mexico is sending out SNAP benefits this month. Okay, well, actually, that was really last month. Okay, but the key here is 7,000 people. It's actually 7,753 people are going to receive the additional $168 in aid for the month of June. Right? Now, this is actually going to the elderly. If you're older, 60 years of age or older, or you're an adult with a disability, you would receive this benefit. One thing I can tell you is the goal is so that this hopefully makes it easier for you to buy food, heat your home or cool your home, and just things like that. Even pay your rent. All right? Because again, think about this. If you have an increase in a need, for example, food, you take whatever extra money you have and you put it towards that need. Well, guess what? If the state gives you additional benefits for SNAP, and now you don't have this additional need because you have more money on an EBT card, well, now you don't have to spend your money to put it towards food. Now you use state benefits. This is actually one of the big reasons why more people are looking to do this. Here's another state, Georgia. Georgia's Department of Human Services has issued a pandemic EBT to the youngest SNAP recipients. Well, what does this mean? Well, here's what's happening. Okay, this week, the Georgia Department of Human Services Division of Family and Children Services began issuing pandemic EBT benefits to SNAP enrolled children ages 0 to 5 and those 5 years of age who turned 6 during the covered period of August through December 2022. To be eligible, children had to be receiving SNAP benefits during these months. It says families with eligible children will receive $26.94 per child for each month their child receives SNAP benefits during the covered period. Here's the interesting thing about this. They are going back. Okay? The reason why I bring this up, and I think this is interesting, because for the longest time we were always wondering, well, why are these states giving additional benefits but these states aren't? Well, The states that were waiting and being patient, they were trying to see if the federal government was going to give them more benefits. If the federal government would step in and provide a benefit for the entire country so that the state wouldn't have to spend their money. Remember, I told you guys this. I said, just wait. The states have to spend this money. There's nothing they can do. It is written in the bill that sent them over $350 billion to all states that they have to spend the money by January 1st, 2025. So guess what's happening now? These states are starting to realize that, well, we might have missed the boat, so we're going to go back and provide this additional assistance today, but to make up for what we lacked then. Well, this is happening all over the place. Okay, it's not just in Georgia, it's not just in New Mexico, it's all over the place. But I want to show you something else as well. In New Mexico, tax rebates are actually in the mail. But why would they send you a tax rebate? And what's this rebate for? Well, let's read it. It says, New Mexico taxpayers have begun receiving one-time rebates from the state. It's $500 for single filers and $1,000 for couples. Okay? The legislature and governor approved the rebates in the most recent session. No application is required. Rebate checks are in the mail for those who filed by mail and are being deposited in bank accounts for those who use direct deposits. Now, it says, nonetheless, the Santa Fe, New Mexican reports the state tax and revenue department received so many calls yesterday, 8,000 compared to the weekly volume of 6,000, its phones were jammed. Now, it says this legislature also allocated funds for low-income residents who don't file taxes. People can apply for those funds through 5 p.m. tomorrow. Keep in mind this was back in June. Okay. What you need to keep in mind is that they're trying to send out money. They're just trying to figure out ways to send out money. Now, some are going to do this in different ways. Some are going to target food. Some are targeting property taxes and rent and things like that. It really doesn't matter what they are targeting. You just need to understand that the money's there and you can go and get it. Here's another state. Okay. This article says property tax and rent rebates to be distributed starting today. This is actually today. Okay. This is really today, July 3rd, 2023. This is actually in Pennsylvania. It says starting today, 283,000 older homeowners, renters, and people with disabilities across Pennsylvania will be issued rebates totaling nearly $132 million. Now, this is actually a program that started a while ago, but they continue to do it. So what you need to keep in mind with this is that this is actually, it was supposed to be sent out on July 1st, but because that was a weekend, today is actually the first business day. That's why it's going to be sent out today. But these rebates, again, it's actually pretty substantial. Okay? It says under the governor's proposal, the maximum standard rebate would increase from $650 to $1,000. So they're giving you an additional $350. Okay? An additional $350. Now it says, meanwhile, the income limits for renters and homeowners would be made equal and both increase to $45,000. So there's more money coming. That's not it. There's also something in Colorado. It's the Colorado, I think it's called the PTC. It's for property tax, rent, heat, things like that. It's a rebate. But in this, the rebate amount can be up to, I think, $1,000. It's a little bit over $1,000 a year for applicants. But you have to apply. Okay. And if you apply in 2023, you can receive a $1,000 refundable tax credit. Again, this is in Colorado. In this article, it states that in 2023, this program could provide more than $7 million in relief to Colorado, to residents in Colorado, and again, seniors, people with disabilities. Let's see. It says the applications for the Colorado PTC rebate for 2022, these are actually due by December 31st, 2024. So 2 years later. Again, this is why I bring this up, because what's crazy about all these different rebates and tax credits and stimulus checks is that states are willing to give this money out a year, even 2 years later. So just keep in mind, if you're looking for additional relief, whether it's for rent, for your utilities, for your property taxes, just for food, for whatever it may be, there's probably something out there for you. You just have to find it. All right? So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.